What's going on, everybody? This is Sean Garvey, and you are watching a special edition of DKE TV, in which we like to call it the Authors Roundtable. Joining with us today are four amazing, strong, beautiful, talented women that have one thing in common, and they all have a story to tell. Joining with us this evening is Julia Butler. She is the founder of ACTS, which stands for Active Christians Truly Serving. And she is the author of the new book entitled Being Single is Not a Disease. All right, so we're going to definitely talk about that a little bit later on in the program. Also joining with us this evening is Twyla Predo. She is the founder of Cash Kids Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization to help kids become financially stable. And she is the author of several different children's books, including one that is only for the grown and spiritual. And the title of the book is called Deception, the Devil Hears Your Prayers Too. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on in the broadcast also. And joining with us this evening is Shakita Winfrey. She is the author of two major books. One is entitled The Other Winfrey, and the other one she just recently released is called Release. We're going to talk about that as well. Last but not least, we have Stephanie L. Jones in the building. She is a motivational speaker, and she is the author of a new book entitled The Enemy Between My Legs. That is very interesting. Can't wait to talk about that. Ladies, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us today, and to the viewers out there.
Thank you for having us.
All right, all right. Of course, once again, this is the Authors Roundtable. We're going to go around the room and just touch on different subjects that are pertaining to issues facing our women today based on your book. We're going to talk about things such as domestic abuse, sexual abuse, how women are being portrayed in the media, and we're going to also talk about relationships and dating, which I can't wait to get into. But first and foremost, I want to go around the forum, I want to go around the room, and I want you to introduce yourselves. Tell the viewers out there a little bit about yourself and the book also, starting with you, Julia.
Well, I'm Julia Butler, and I'm the author of Being Single is Not a Disease. And I wrote Being Single is Not a Disease basically because I feel like a lot of women nowadays feel like it's a stigma attached to being single, which is not always the case. If you are living your life according to the will of God, then the right person will come around in God's timing, and you don't have to feel like you are living under the world stigma of the way that the world views being single, and you can live a healthy, sanctified, satisfied life being single.
All right, now what about you, Twyla? The devil hears your prayers to deception. Let's talk about that. Well, first and foremost, give the viewers out there a little background history about yourself.
Okay. My name is Twyla Prindle. I live in Jacksonville, Florida, and I am the founder of Cash Kids, which teaches kids about financial literacy, and the books that I write are primarily for children. Now, I know that deception, the devil hears your prayers too, has nothing to do with that, but there is one chapter that talks about finance there. And the whole thing about deception, it just talks about different areas in your life where you think God is leading you, and sometimes it's not God. We just make it God, or it's self-deception. So it's a book of short stories talking about areas like in your finances, in your love life, dealing with your family, dealing with issues in the church. And it gives life lessons, and if you're in certain situations, how to get out of those situations, or different things of not even going there. If you are in a situation, it gives you scriptures to fall back on, and how to ease out of the situations, if you want to call it that. So.
Okay, all right, nicely put. Now let's go over here to my left, Shakita Winfrey, the other Winfrey, as well as the new book release. Tell the viewers out there in TV land a little bit about yourself and the book also.
Okay. Well, first of all, my name is Shakita Winfrey, and the book that I've written is called The Other Winfrey. And what this book explicitly shows is how you can take a person, especially myself, a woman, that is dealing with the cards that have been dealt in life, okay, and taking that and manipulating it to where it could benefit the person, as myself, and for other young women that are actually trying to survive in society. Life is not fair. So what I've taken is my life and my past and my struggles and placed it in a book to show other women, look, first of all, don't give up. Second of all, do not follow the path that I've chose to follow at that particular time. And this is what you can do with your life now. Nobody's perfect. A lot of people make mistakes, but what I'm showing in my book is, look, don't follow the route that I've taken in my life. Here's an easier way. Here's a better way to become successful. This is a more logical way to become successful, and take this path and you can become successful in life.
Okay, I can dig that. I can dig that. Now let's go to the very end right here. Stephanie Jones, tell the people out there that's watching right now a little bit about yourself and the book, The Enemy Between My Legs.
My name is Stephanie O. Jones, and I am a speaker and author of the book, The Enemy Between My Legs, which is a best-selling book on Essence and Amazon.com list. And my book talks about the long-term effects of child molestation, because 1 out of 3 women and 1 out of 4 men are molested, and it's something that's not talked about. But let me correct that. It's 1 out of 5 men that are molested. And it's devastating on people, it's devastating on families. So I touch about that subject and how it affects us long term and how we're able to overcome that abuse if we break the silence and the cycle in our families.
Okay, very informative. Now let's go ahead and get right down to business. Let's start off by talking about domestic abuse, in which all 4 women have been through that type of situation before. It's something that we don't hardly talk about unless it happens in Hollywood, unless it happens to certain celebrities. We're not going to mention any names right now. But I want to ask you all this. How long did it take for you to get over that situation? How long did it take for you to get over domestic violence? Starting with you, Julia.
Well, first of all, it's just you have to understand that you're in a domestic violence situation, because sometimes the abuse can be so subtle that you don't realize that you are being abused, and you blame yourself a lot. You think, well, at first you think, well, I pushed him, or maybe if I said something that he didn't like, and you always tend to blame yourself if you're the woman, especially. And I don't know that. It just takes time to realize that it happened, and then you have to just really start to see yourself not as a victim, but as a daughter, as a child of God, and understand that it wasn't your fault, that that person has the issues and not you, and that even though there may be areas of growth that you need to have, you have to stop the blame game and break the cycle of abuse so that you can go on to healthier relationships.
Now, let me ask you all this. What are the signs that you all see that indicates that this particular person, that this particular mate is being abusive? What are the signs?
Well, controlling. If they're controlling, that's a telltale sign.
Okay. All right.
One.
Well, my situation was a little different. I was hit once in the face, and it really hurt. And I never went back. That was it for me. So there were, in my opinion, no signs. We just had a heated argument, and he hit me in the face, and that was it for me. So it was a little easier for me to get out, only because I had seen other people go through the cycle, and I saw that they stayed. And for me, I was stuck on the fact that it hurt, and I didn't want it to happen again. So, I mean, my face hurt for like a week, and so it was easier for me to get out because of that.
Okay.